one of my pet peeves is when people refer to customer success as an organization or as a team. Honestly, it has to be a cross-company endeavor, a top-down priority led by the board or by the executive team. Because if the executive team does not embrace their individual function or team's responsibility in delivering success for the customer, you're not going to be able to deliver the right experience. And this includes product engineering, it includes services, it includes sales, marketing, and of course the customer success team. In order to get started with customer success, there are 4 things that are critical for companies to consider. 1, most important is you have to know your customer. Now, we often hear from many companies that they don't gather usage data. They don't capture information about how their product is being leveraged within the organization. Well, to the extent that usage information is captured, it makes it that much easier to understand and know your customer. However, there are so many other sounds and signals about how a customer is engaged with your product that people sometimes underestimate what is even possible to gather. For example, most companies have webinars, most companies have training, most companies engage with customers on a support basis. All of those should be treated as signals that they should use to determine how customers are using their product, how engaged they are with their product, and fundamentally, how happy they are with their product. Getting this insight about customer health is going to be critical to determining how you engage with that customer through their life cycle and fundamentally making sure that the customer is successful. The second key lever is to design an integrated end-to-end customer experience. And what that requires one to do is to map the end-to-end customer journey for the various segments and use cases. For example, the journey for a net new enterprise customer would be very different from a journey of a customer that you're trying to upgrade from a prior version of the product to the new one. Or a journey for an SMB customer will be fundamentally different from that of an enterprise customer. And so part of this whole process needs to be to work cross-functionally as a group, understand the key points in that customer journey that will truly differentiate your experience, and then work collaboratively to essentially deliver that experience. It's easier said than done. We have seen many versions of the journey map being developed at companies and essentially it becoming shelfware. The critical aspect of doing a good journey map is to be able to translate those to operational imperatives and work cross-functionally to deliver the experience. Third lever is to design the experience for scale. The reality is it's very easy to deliver a very high touch and very good experience for your top 200, top 300 accounts. You could have very strong account managers assigned to those accounts. You could have CSMs assigned to those accounts at a ratio of 1:3, 1:5, 1:10. And they can engage with those accounts in a much more strategic and hands-on way that it's not possible to do for the entire account base. Most companies have hundreds and thousands of accounts, and it's not possible to necessarily deploy that level of experience to everybody. So in order to build for scale, it's very important to tier your accounts, so understand what experience you're going to deliver to various tiers of your account base. Number 2 is use one-to-many technology platforms to be able to communicate to those customers at scale, leverage things like communities to be able to engage with that customer at scale. And number 3 is actively use analytics to be able to engage with those customers in a very targeted way. The 4th key lever is to make sure that you measure the impact of customer success. The reality is customer success isn't cheap. Investments have to be made in people, in the product, in systems, in marketing. Consequently, very quickly people start to ask the question of what's the ROI of all these investments that we're making? So it becomes critical to establish a baseline of what measures you're going to impact through customer success. An example could be churn. To the extent churn is a problem, certainly customer success can impact that in a meaningful way. The other lever typically people could use is net retention rates. There are various levers that companies use to measure the impact, and it varies, based on the situation and based on the priorities of the organization. What's critical, though, is to establish what those metrics are and establish a baseline for those metrics so that you can show meaningful growth and improvement in those measures. Ultimately, that's what's required to deliver the ROI on all the investments that's made. So focusing on these 4 levers are going to be key to ensure that you have a good start on your customer success initiatives.